Good Friday morning. Welcome into Morning JOX. Damian Mitchell alongside John Saybear, Conrad Van Order, back with us on Tuesday. Appreciate everybody locking in with us. 205-834-9450 on this Friday morning. Listen, I will admit, I saw a lot last night, of the Winter Olympics. And I will say this, the Winter Olympics is not really my thing. I try to at least peep in here and there, but it's not, there's certain events that I don't know much about it. But one thing about yesterday, the women's national hockey team beating the team up north in overtime for
Michigan?
No, excuse me, the country up north.
Oh, okay.
The country up north. The Canadians. The U.S. women's national team brings home the gold yesterday, 2-1 in overtime. For the 7 minutes of it I watched, I was like, okay, don't know anybody that's out there. I'm not a hockey guy. Like, it's not really my thing.
You're a front runner. It's okay. Like we've established that. Like we know you hop teams, and I actually
USA over everything.
I actually commend you for sticking with this one team, being with America, as opposed to being like, you know what, Canada wins championships. I'm gonna stick with them.
No, man,
because as true fans know that only two teams have won Olympic gold medals in women's hockey, and they both played yesterday.
Hey,
Canada and the United States,
and we brought home the gold. Listen, it was entertaining. It was entertaining for them because I had seen a little bit of it as 3-man front was on yesterday, and we were down 1-0 for essentially the entire time. Then we tied it up. We go into overtime, and again, I am not a hockey expert. 205-834-9450. You can educate me on how everything. If you could give me a play-by-play breakdown of how it all happened, all I know is we got the last goal. We ended up bringing home gold, and we're adding to our medal count there in the Olympics in 2026. And right now we're sitting in the second spot. Going into yesterday, we were sitting right behind Norway as far as medal count. Norway had 34. We're sitting at 27 with 9 gold, 12 silver, and 6 bronze. So, to me, the Winter Olympics has been cool, but I think that because, and again, this is just me personally speaking. No, if you've been dialed in, please let me know what events have I been missing out on. Is the U.S. dominating in other fields as well that we may just not know about? But I will say again, yesterday what I saw. In the women's national hockey team bringing home gold against Canada, I mean, I was pretty pumped, and because you do was it last year or 2 years ago when we had the 4 Nations face-off in men's hockey? Was that 2 years ago?
I thought they don't do that every year.
I don't know.
You coming right here to the two hockey experts,
right?
Melanin and Klein brothers doing it. Yeah,
Like I just
it was recent. Yes.
Yeah, I just remember. Okay, like
at least 2 years ago. Yeah.
I was like, okay, like, this is pretty cool. Like I don't know anything about it, but anything that represents the USA and we're winning, say no more. I'm here for it. But that is your 2026 Olympic medal update for anybody that's looking for more. I ain't got you. That's just it's not my forte. But we do have some college basketball coming up this weekend. Really and truly here in the state of Alabama for 2 teams. One, you look at Alabama, they're starting to hit their stride here on the backstretch of the season leading into the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament. Auburn, on the other hand, everything is a must-win in this situation. And it doesn't get really that much easier moving forward for both Alabama and Auburn, because Auburn, you're back at Neville, you're back at home, but you got Kentucky. And Kentucky is one of those teams where we've seen them have some spells. I mean, they just lost to Georgia this week, but when they're on, they're still one of the better teams in college basketball. Think about just essentially a month ago where Mark Pope was basically fighting for his job at every press conference after Kentucky would play. But I think that right now, if you're Auburn, you have to win by any means necessary. And a win over Kentucky, yeah, you're in that bubble discussion because again, you're losers of 5 straight. That loss to Mississippi State on Wednesday night was tough. Like that was one that, I mean, you could tell Stephen Pearl and the way that he was reacting. It was, early on, it felt like Auburn just was going through the motions. Then they started to peak a little bit in the second half. And then when they needed to make a stop, Josh Hubbard from Mississippi State appeared again. And when he outscores you by himself in the first half, you kind of put yourself in harm's way. But I think for Stephen Pearl, and again, this isn't a team that is devalued of talent. Like this isn't a team that is they struggle in making shots. But again, they've gone on the road and beaten the defending national champions in Florida. And it's just at what point or how do you try to fix this Auburn team? And again, you're welcoming Kentucky, Alabama on the road against LSU. But I look at specifically what we're seeing from both teams. Alabama gutsy performance, that double overtime win over Arkansas. That's March Madness. Like what you saw in that game gives you confidence of, okay, this Alabama team, yeah, they're missing the likes of a Mark Sears or Grant Nelson, but the guys that are playing their job and the way and their role, they're expanding those things. Whereas you look to Auburn, it's okay. Keyshawn Hall, yes, he's our leading scorer, but he had to be sat down 2 games ago. Like he was suspended. He comes back and picks up right where he left off against Mississippi State, but you still end up losing the ball game. Tahad Pettiford, in the grand scheme of it all, I think he's starting to get to where he was last season, but how deep into the season that we are now, it's kind of for a lost cause because, again, if he's going out there giving you 27, 21, 29 points, but you're still finding yourselves on the losing side of things, it just hurts. Like it's man, we're finally getting the Tahad that we've been expecting, but it's coming at a losing effort. So I just think that right now it's desperation time for Auburn, especially on this backstretch leading to the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament.
One thing that I think people are forgetting is that Stephen Pearl is a first-year coach.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I know a good number of these players played under Bruce Pearl and should have that same kind of mindset and mettle and know what it takes to close out games. It's almost, even though most everyone remained when Stephen Pearl was elevated, it's still a whole new coaching staff.
Yep.
And it takes some time for a coach to figure out how to win. And yes, these players should know because, again, they did last year and have kind of known it in the past. But we're acting like Stephen Pearl is Bruce Pearl in his 9th, 10th year, whatever, at Auburn, like it would have been. And so if this were Bruce Pearl and these games would be playing out this way, okay, maybe it'd be kind of good and fair to question him. But again, this is his first year doing it. And so in a lot of these games that they end up, yes, losing, like they're in it and ultimately have the lead. So it's like, all right, we know we're capable of it. We just got to figure out how to close.
Yep.
And that's just something that's going to come with experience. And sadly, right now, Stephen Pearl just doesn't have it.
Yeah. And when you look at just the stretch and how Auburn has performed these last couple games. Like you started off, the 5-game losing streak started at Tennessee. You lost 77-69. Tennessee, one of those teams that's a tournament team, and they've gotten some pretty good wins. Then you follow that up with a loss against Alabama, a loss at home to Vanderbilt, then Arkansas. Arkansas was kind of that telltale sign because, again, you suspended Keyshawn Hall before the game. And Arkansas is a really good basketball team, but I do think what we saw Wednesday night was such a gut punch because you knew going into the rest of these ball games that was the one that, okay, if we're going to get back into the swing of things, this is the one that we need to get. And now you finish the season up with Kentucky, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, and then on the road at Alabama. So I look at what Auburn has to do, what they have to do to solidify themselves as a tournament team. And really and truly, and a couple of my buddies, I was talking to them the other day, and I was just, at first the conversation was, is Auburn a tournament team? And it was, yeah, but I don't feel confident of what they could potentially do if they get into the tournament. And then the loss to Mississippi State happened, and it's, man, I don't even know if this team is a tournament team because you're losing games like this. But I do think that if you get a win against Kentucky, you get a win against Alabama. The wins that you have, the wins that you already have are going to help you because you got to win against St. John's. Like you've got a win against Florida. Arkansas, you got them at home early on, but it's still the losses that you have and the way that you lost. It's kind of, man, I don't know if they're going to be able to get out of the first weekend, much really and truly the first game of the NCAA tournament. And I don't think it's necessarily. I don't think it's all Stephen Pearl's fault. I don't think it's all the players' fault. But there's certain times in the ball game where Auburn, one, they can't really buy. They're not a good 3-point shooting team. They're just not. But I think the way that they play, especially on the defensive side, you have a good amount of length. You got a lot of athleticism, so you can almost overcompensate with not being efficient on the offensive side if you can stop people defensively. And I think that's where a lot of people have some issue with Stephen Pearl because he was quote unquote the defensive coordinator under his dad. So I can get why there's a lot of frustration on both sides, but also you don't have a Janai Broom. Like you don't have, not to say that Keyshawn Hall isn't a takeover guy, but he hasn't been as consistent. And again, if he's kind of been the head case of the room, it's tough when your leading scorer is also causing the problems offensively, if that makes sense.
No, it does, and I think this team, I don't want to say they fit their ceiling, but I don't think they would have had a deep tournament run no matter what because the scoring just isn't there. Yeah, you've got maybe 1.5 players that can go get a bucket and
Right.
consistently score, but that's not what it takes to go deep and win in the tournament. You need 2, if not at least 3, that can go and do that. And even if Bruce Pearl hadn't retired less than a month before Auburn stepped on the court, like this was the roster that they were going to have no matter what. It's not like this happened back in April and okay, we've got time to hit the portal, maybe find another shooter, or get someone that can be more of a defensive presence. Like this was the team that was going to have, that they were going to have, and the season was probably going to be this way no matter what. Would they have lost all these games? Probably not, but I think they would have, I guess, made the tournament as opposed to questionably being in right now. But I still think they would have been at best 7 seed. So yeah, they probably win a game,
Right.
but it just feels like in essence Auburn right now they're just prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah. 205-834-9450. How do you feel about your squad heading into the NCAA tournament as we hit the backstretch of this season, the last 5-6 games? If you're an Auburn fan, do you expect to make the NCAA tournament? Do you think this team could finally put it together? If you're Alabama, do you feel like you might have a little bit of a run left in you because of what you saw against Arkansas? We'll open up the phone lines, the Courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450. We'll continue the conversation on the other side. Keep it locked right here on Morning JOX. 6:18. Welcome back into Morning Jocks. Damian Mitchell, John Saybear here with you. Conrad out. He will return with us on Tuesday. I went to the text line. They were like the most awkward discussion of hockey I've ever heard. I was like, listen, man, I caught the last few minutes. It was cool. The U.S., as long as we win, I want us to go gold in everything. Whether I watch it or not, know about it or not, hey, as long as we win, that's all that matters. Big team USA. Lewis texts in and says, women's curling this morning at 7, chance for the gold. Let's go. But curling, I will say, has been in the news the past couple of days because I feel like everybody's been caught cheating. Was it Switzerland and Canada?
Oh, it's Canada. Men's and women's. Yeah, they're the ones out there, which is why they deserve to lose a gold medal in hockey.
Yeah, right.
Can't have nothing.
Yeah, I've been seeing a bunch of cheating just going on, so they need to fix it because as long USA, we doing it the right way. We're doing everything that we need to. We'll bring home the gold. We're rocking with the USA at 7 o'clock this morning. But we were discussing NCAA tournament and just where you feel is about where your team is at. With Alabama looking at a potential 4, some people have them at a 5 seed. I think that win against Arkansas was pretty important because both Arkansas and Alabama both firmly into the NCAA tournament. But I think for Auburn that if you can just find a way to get a win at this point, and you look at what's coming up Saturday with Kentucky, I understand that there's a hesitancy on how confident you can really be about this Auburn squad going into just these final 5 games and just looking for a win. Because, again, Auburn right now, going into the Mississippi State game, Joe Lunardi had Auburn as a 8 seed. And I know that loss to Mississippi State does not help. It does not help. But another thing that Auburn has going for it, they've had a brutal schedule, an absolutely brutal schedule. Especially in the non-con. Like I will say this, whether Bruce or Steven set the schedule up, they were going to be tested. So I think the committee is going to at least kind of acknowledge that they've played a tough gauntlet, but you also have to win basketball games. And I think that the way that this season has gone early on, and as soon as we open conference play, Texas A&M was kind of that hot thing. Like they started out the gate hot, but then you realize they really hadn't played anybody. And then now since we've gotten into the month of February, deeper into just conference play, you've seen that separation. You started to see that, okay, well, maybe they may not be as good as we once thought they were. I think the surprise team, not to say that I'm not going to say they surprised me, but I think a team that I didn't really have many expectations for. I know they made the tournament last season, but it was Missouri. Missouri has gotten some big wins. Now, early on, they couldn't beat anybody. They couldn't beat anybody on the road. They would only beat them at home. But when you look at the Missouris, the Vanderbilts, Tennessees, Kentuckies, like there's not much separation from the middle of the pack in the SEC as far as where these teams kind of stand as we go into the SEC tournament. But Florida sits at the top. Alabama and Arkansas both tied at 9-4 in conference play. But Alabama has that head-to-head, so technically Alabama is the second team in the SEC, followed by Arkansas, Tennessee, Mizzou, Texas, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, Kentucky, Georgia, Mississippi State, Auburn, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, and South Carolina. Auburn is 5-8 in conference play. Not an ideal spot to be.
No, not at all.
Not an ideal spot to be. And when you look at the teams that are ahead of them, again, everybody has their warts. And I think that's one of the best things about the SEC is how competitive it is game to game, that you really don't know what to expect. Because, again, we saw Oklahoma beat Vanderbilt. We beat Vanderbilt on the road. An Oklahoma team that really is they're just fighting to finish the season. And we've seen Mississippi State knock off Auburn, and again, that's the competition level in the SEC. I think from top to bottom, and no offense to South Carolina, LSU, but I think when you look at the 14 other teams that are ahead of them, you're not surprised that some of these upsets happen. But I think the way the calendar is set up, and anybody will tell you, like, you want to be playing your best basketball leading into tournament time. Because again, SEC tournament, if you mess around and get beat, okay, it is what it is. But I think that for the SEC, it's hard to kind of put a team in the box. Like, really and truly, Florida is the best team in the SEC.
Right.
And they've established that.
Correct.
But they also have a loss at home to Auburn. But they also beat the number 2 team in the SEC in Alabama by 27 points, 23 points.
Yeah.
So it's truly game to game how all these things are going to play out. But I think that especially here for Alabama, you're starting to piece it together. You're starting to see the Amari Allens of the world. You sit Latrell Wrightsell and have him come off the bench, and I think that he's accepted that role, but yet he's still a focal point of how they're going to be offensively. Aiden Holloway starting to really come into his own, and we know what LeBaron Fallon is. So I think that you don't have as many question marks for Alabama, but I think for Auburn, it's okay, can they muddy up a game enough to have a Cinderella type run? But also they have to finish the regular season in the right way to even find themselves in the NCAA tournament. Because again, anything can happen. We've seen upsets galore, and that's one thing that we love about the NCAA tournament is there's going to be a team that's going to make a run, and it's okay, well, we didn't expect this. But I think for Auburn, we know what we're getting from Keyshawn Hall. We know what we're getting from Tahad Pettiford. It's the other guys around them that have to step their game up and also just try to find ways to win basketball games, no matter how it may look. Because, again, we know that you struggle from the three-point line. We know that you're not there's no sharpshooter that Auburn has. A lot of it is just getting to the cup, getting to the rim, and also getting to the free throw line and making your free throws. So I think there are styles in which they could be a headache for a lot of teams if they were to make the NCAA tournament.
It's interesting and funny how SEC basketball feels a lot like SEC football in that, yeah, there's one team at the top that we've got as the best, but we know they're vulnerable. And then there's a good number of teams, maybe the next tier, they're like, okay, yeah, that they can, we know they're not the best, but we know that they can beat them and near the top. And then there's that middle tier of a team like an Auburn that can jump up and beat a Georgia and beat teams that are at the top, but then mess around and lose to teams like Mississippi State and other teams that are probably not making the tournament. It's just eerily similar how the basketball standings and conference looks like football and emulates that, but I also was feeling how with Auburn being 5-8 right now and most likely going to be under 500 for the season, just feels a lot like the Big East back in the day when Carmelo's day, in that I don't know if the SEC is the best overall conference in basketball. Maybe they're at least in the top 3. I don't know if they're number 1, but you had teams that all those teams were facing murderer's rows of competition, of schedules, and you would see a team that would be a 4 seed, a 5 seed, but have like 10 conference losses. Like, wait, hold on, like this team they went 8-10 in conference and they're a 4 seed. What are you talking about? And then you see them in the Elite Eight. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, they were battle tested. Yeah, I get it. And Auburn's a team that's been battle tested, and to their credit, most tournament predictors still have them in the tournament. Now, if they keep losing, they're going to play their way out, but I say it like it's easy. Just find a win, guys.
Yes.
Like, find a win, and then you can at least right the ship and hopefully continue that trend. But losing, was it now 6 in a row? Like yeah, that's tough. That's difficult. But just find a win, guys. Like, it feels like the bracketologists and probably the NCAA committee, like, they want to put you in the tournament.
Right.
Like, they know the tough schedule that you've had. Like, it felt like, especially Florida football the last couple of years, like, we know the tough schedule that you had. And Billy Napier probably, maybe, if they were going to let him go, like, they should have let him go last year. But there was like, look, okay, it was a tough-ass schedule. We get it. We understand. Just do better this year. Well, the schedule was just as hard. And they're like, all right, fine, well, we had enough. And I get that. But this schedule has been insanely tough for Auburn. And I don't want to say they've weathered it. They've been broken and beaten, but they've taken some shots just find a way to get one more shot. Come on, guys. You can do one more. Give me at least one more.
Right. Like if we're coming in here Monday and we hear that Auburn knocks and we see that Auburn knocks off Kentucky, I don't think that it would be a surprise. I don't think it would necessarily be a surprise because, okay, yeah, they're back at home. They finally figured it out and they understand that it's do or die. Like you're essentially in tournament mode for the next however many regular season games going into the SEC tournament and in the NCAA tournament. Like it's basically you got to have the mindset win or go home. And I think that this team is talented enough to overcome a little bit of that, but also it's hard because they're in the midst of this losing streak, and you're leaning on the side of optimism because of the fact that, hey, you know what? If say Kentucky goes out there and they have a cold night, you got them. You got them. Like at this point, it's just win. Like find a way to get it done. 205-834-9450. Your text message, your calls on the other side, as well as something that I saw on ESPN.com. Bill Connolly ranks the college football top 100 quarterbacks of the 2000s. There's some interesting spots some names that we're familiar with here, and I just want to get y'all's reaction and also let you know who he has, especially in his top 10. It's worth the discussion. Keep it locked right here on Morning Jogs. 6:34 here on Morning Jocks. Damian and John here with you. 205-834-9450. Your text messages, your calls, always welcome here on Morning Jocks. Let's go to the phone line. Our buddy Poe in Birmingham wants to talk with us this morning. What's going on this morning, Poe?
Man, good morning, Damian, Mitch, Saber, Jocks Morning World fans. What's happening? Hey, help me out real quick before I get into what I want to dive into. Miami, Ohio, man, I be having to get to the house to watch them guys. I like what they're doing. They ain't won big, so if they lose in the tournament, which I hope they don't, when they get in the NCAA, Joe Lenard is crazy if they don't. Are those guys, they still able to get in, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Even if they would lose somebody.
Yeah,
okay,
I believe so.
Because I know some of them schools, because some of those schools are like, even though they do it, and if they lose in the tournament, they don't get in, which I still don't understand that, and I'm 53 years old. So, but, okay, Miami, Ohio doing good, man. I just want to put that out there. Okay, so, and all y'all know, SEC, some of my folks, I'm a Mississippi State fan, but they still try to put me on Mississippi State basketball. I'm a Georgetown fan, man. Let everybody know. Georgetown ain't going nowhere. We ain't doing it unless we can get in the SEC, unless my team get in the NCAA, the Big East tournament, and fly by there and handle that. I just want to put that out there. Come on, Georgetown. Handle your business and do it for me. For this thing with Auburn, Auburn got beat by Mississippi State. Me, why I'm not a fan of Auburn right now, and y'all stop me, Bruce Pearl and Stephen Pearl. Stephen Pearl is the same as Bruce Pearl to me. That's just the way I look at basketball. I've been watching a long time, and he was like and waiting for when his father leaves. So Stephen Pearl, he's not showing me nothing. Right? Mississippi State beat him down, and I just feel that he's the same as his father. He's not doing and like John Saber, like Mr. Saber was saying, they want to put Auburn in, and I know why they want to put him in. He Bruce Pearl's son, and they want to try to get him there. But like you say, the schedule hard, and it goes on coaching. When Mississippi State was shooting them out, it goes back on coaching and how to stop that thing. So that's why I say I'm not a fan of Auburn, because Stephen Pearl, it's still Bruce Pearl's coaching to me. I just want to say that. Now, Arkansas and Alabama, I watched the Alabama game, y'all. I still can't believe what I saw. I'm glad Alabama won for the simple fact is anything I can see John Calipari lose, I'm glad with that, because I ain't no fan of John Calipari. And I'm going to go, but Damian Mitch, every time I talk, I focus on teams when it comes to coaches. If it's the coach I don't like, then I don't like the team. John Calipari, hey, man, if I can see him lose the rest of these games, I'm a happy cat, because I ain't no fan of John Calipari. Stephen Pearl, you gotta prove me right, dude. I'm gonna continue to pull against you until you prove me wrong about how you still is the coaching wizard as before Bruce Pearl left. Over there on St. John's, I want to see you lose. I don't ever want to see you win again. So that's just how it is. Oh, yeah, and again with the quarterbacks, Cam Newton, Tim Tebow. Hey, man, it's your boy, Poe. I love y'all, Georgetown Warriors, NCAA, SEC tournament. Let's handle this. I love y'all. I'm out.
Yes, sir. Hey, Poe, we appreciate it. Love you too, big dog. He said Stephen Pearl ain't nothing but Bruce Pearl 2.0. I'll put it like this now. Bruce Pearl took Auburn to the Final Four. It took a while. Took a minute, but he built that
twice.
Right?
One just once. Yeah.
He took that program to some heights they have never seen before.
I think they gladly take that.
Right.
Yeah,
if it's just gonna be, you telling me it's gonna be a little bit of an adjustment first year, okay. But in the event, if he has the same career similar to his dad at Auburn, I think that'd be okay. Oh, gotta love Poe. We appreciate him. And you can always call in, text in 205-834-9450. Bill Connolly on ESPN.com has the top 100 quarterbacks in college football of the 2000s. And I will say this, he's taking their entire career into an account. So when you hear some of these positions and where these guys are ranked, think about their entire time in college, not just the one season they may have led a team to a national championship and a Heisman Trophy. Just here again. This is Bill Connolly's list. I'm just gonna read it off, but I'm gonna start in the top 10 because there are some names as we go through the top 100 that you can have some questions about. But right now, if we're going to the top 10 again, this is Bill Connolly's college football's 100 best quarterbacks of the 2000s. At number 10, he has Robert Griffin III from Baylor, Heisman Trophy winner. Okay, okay, you got that. What did outside of and again, if you look at the history of Baylor football,
who hadn't had a winning season prior to when RG3 got there.
Yeah,
So,
so
correct.
However you feel about him in the booth, I understand. But when he was playing at Baylor, the dude was the truth. I will give him that.
Okay.
At number 9, he has arguably the best quarterback in college football during the time. He has Marcus Mariota from Oregon.
Oh, okay. Well, clearly that's not, again, he's number 9. Right. You're lucky he's in the top 10. Should be 9D, but all right.
At number 8, he has Lamar Jackson.
Understandable. By the way, 3 straight Heisman Trophy winners. So, let's just so you know, that's what we're looking at.
Again, this is the entire career, which is, if we're looking at the entire career, Lamar Jackson, and again, he went to Louisville.
Right. Yeah.
He went to Louisville. At number 7, he has Kyler Murray. Okay.
Still a great college quarterback.
100%.
Yes.
Number 6, he has Deshaun Watson. Again, we're talking about college. We're talking about college.
A great college quarterback. Won a championship.
Yeah.
Yes. Handled Alabama. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're talking about college. At number 5, he has Joe Burrow, former LSU quarterback and Ohio State. But here's and this is why I say he's taken the entire career into an account. Joe Burrow, when he transferred to LSU, the first year it was kind of okay. He still the Ed Orgeron effect didn't take over. He had to, he had to go through the old Les Miles days where they're running the toss power dive, and then we'll let him throw every now and then. Then his final year there, and then we saw when Joe Brady came in.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to call him a one-hit wonder, but he's like that band that their biggest hit was on their third album. They put out a couple of other albums, and you may have heard, you may not, but then all of a sudden, oh, whoa, what is this? You're like, oh, they've actually been around for a while. Oh, who knew?
Yep.
Yeah.
That is perfect. At number 4, he has Tim Tebow.
Might have been my number 1. If you take the whole career,
right, he
might have been my number 1. But top 5, fully understandable. If not for Greg McElroy and what that Alabama team did in that 2009 SEC championship game, if they'd have just at least won that game, you could have argued that he was probably the best. Mm-hmm. He had the best career of a college football quarterback to go from national championship, albeit a secondary QB, but still a integral part of the team, Heisman Trophy, national championship, and again lost in the SEC championship game to where Alabama went on to win, but still up there, definitely for discussion. Yes.
Number 3, he has Vince Young, and again,
it's not unlike Joe Burrow in that yes, everyone remembers the last year, but his first 2 years he was good, and then the switch flipped, and then he absolutely balled out. But yes. Again, number 3, I don't quite know, but definitely top 10, and I fully understand why he's up here.
At number 2, Cam Newton.
All right, it's hard to argue.
But
it's also hard to defend.
Exactly, because the sample size was so small.
Uh-huh.
But that sample size in that one season.
He's Terrell Davis.
It's bro, I did everything. Again, I think no matter who you cheer for, that 2010 Auburn team, if Cam Newton's not out on the football field, that team is borderline 6-6, 7-5.
They sandwiched around that championship were 8-5 around it before and after. Right.
And that's them. That's almost overachieving. But Cam Newton was, again, when you hear who's number 1, then you have the discussion of, okay, Bill Connolly is looking at the entire career that they had.
But then why is Cam number 2? If you're looking at the entire career, again, how much? And to be fair, Connolly puts the years. He puts your name, the school, years, and then in parentheses he put really just 2010. It's okay. And it feels like, again, the last 2 and really 3 of the top 5 had phenomenal 1 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to argue with that, as great as they were. But if you're taking into account the entire career, I would argue that Tim Tebow should probably be higher than these 2.
And coming in at number 1, again, Bill Connolly ranks the 100 best quarterbacks of the 2000s. Coming in at number 1, Baker Mayfield.
Okay, you lost me, dog. He's a stat machine.
100%.
I want to call him a winner, but not in a winner in the sense like Tebow and Cam went there and that won it all. But he won a lot of games, that Oklahoma Heisman Trophy winner too. But I just don't think of him as – he was a very, very, very good quarterback. It's hard for me to not call him great because look at what everyone else around him, look what they accomplished, and Baker didn't quite get that.
Right.
It's almost like he's Charles Barkley looking around at Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler and all these other guys like, hey, I'm a great one too. Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. Wear your ring, son.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, what had happened was I was close and it didn't. And please, and
right.
No, right. And so it's weird seeing him up here. We forget again how people forget how very good of a quarterback he was. Absolutely,
right.
A very, very good quarterback and playing at the time of Deshaun and Kyler.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar, and just maybe overlap a little bit with Mariota. Like he played it in that time and has stats to outrank all of them.
Right. But
most of the other ones have more hardware. So
right.
it's I get it, but also it's tough to. It just doesn't feel right, especially when if you're going to put Vince and Cam at 2 and 3, and then say, well, it's really just kind of for the years. But then you give the Career Achievement Award to Baker. It just feels a little off.
It does. It does. And just some notables in the top 100 best quarterbacks of the 2000s by Bill Connolly there on ESPN. Number 11, he has Trevor Lawrence. 12, he has Colt McCoy. 13, Johnny Manziel. Number 14, he has Fernando Mendoza.
Okay. Get back to the 1 year thing. Okay.
Right.
All right.
I mean, again, up until his time in Indiana, I just knew him as the Cal quarterback that beat Auburn that year.
Correct. Right.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Number 17, he has Jameis Winston. 19, he has Andrew Luck. Number 20, he has Jaden Daniels. Number 21, he has Bryce Young. And again, I personally hold Bryce Young into. You could argue that he's top 10, top 15, in my opinion. Like I think. What Bryce Young was asked to do, especially at his stature and at his size and what he accomplished, I hold Bryce Young into a higher regard. Number 23 has Tua Tagovailoa. At 29, he has Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Number 30, he has Bo Nix.
Okay. Just going to ignore that Matt Leinart was 18, but
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
I get it. But then again, Carson Palmer was 27, so
right.
I think Carson Palmer was a better quarterback, but Matt Leinart achieved more, so I get it.
Yeah. At number 36, he has Diego Pavia. Okay. Number 44, he has Stetson Bennett, 2-time national championship winner at Georgia. Number 45, he has Mac Jones. Number 50, he has Aaron Murray. And Aaron Murray, I think people kind of forget his time at Georgia, but like
they do, yeah.
He won a lot of football games.
He did, and
he won a lot.
For context, he's sandwiched in between Colt Brennan and Byron Leftwich.
Right, and again, you want to talk about career? This dude played as a freshman all the way till he was a senior. Like there was a period of time that he was the only person that they really had. At number 54, he has
your boy,
Ole Miss legend Eli Manning.
2-time Super Bowl winner, goes on to win that.
Yeah.
Before winning 2 Super Bowl titles, Manning nearly accomplished something even more rare and impressive in college. He came within basically one completion or so of beating Nick Saban and earning Ole Miss an SEC West title in 2003. Now I will say this. That's your biggest accomplishment is you almost did something? Like, all right, what are we doing? And very interesting that he's just above Cam Ward and Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask. I forgot about him. I forgot about Kyle Trask.
2 spots above Shoelaces, Denard Robinson.
Whew. You want to talk about an athlete. Number 76, he has a former Alabama quarterback, A.J. McCarron. At number 81, he has Dak Prescott. Number 84, he has Teddy Bridgewater. I think when you look at everything that he accomplished, again, you got to look at where he was at too at Louisville. He took him to a Sugar Bowl.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
he took Louisville to a Sugar Bowl.
And for context, sandwich in between Curtis Rourke and Matt Ryan.
Curtis Rourke.
Yeah.
86, he has Carson Beck. 87, he has Shadur Sanders. 92, he has Hendon Hooker.
Your boy.
Yeah, hey, I'm rocking with him. And number 100, he has J.J. McCarthy, a guy that wasn't even asked to throw the football when he was at Michigan. It was, you can hand this thing off, and again, we may throw it a couple times, but he is a national championship winner. We see you on the JOX text line 205-834-9450. We'll get to those on the other side. Keep it locked right here on Morning JOX. 6:54 here on Morning Jocks. Damien and John here with you for a few more minutes as we get you set for Mac and Cube in the morning. A lot of feedback coming from that the top 100 quarterbacks of the 2000s article written by Bill Connolly on ESPN. Eric in Adamsville, bro, literally put all the names in the hat, and where he pulled them out is that's how he ranked them. List is trash. AJ at 76 is egregious. Lewis texts in and says Pavia in front of the Joker and Greg McElroy, not in front of Hendon Hooker. Print that list on Charmin. Whew. Okay. Somebody asked if did he mention Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold was not on the list.
He, in fact, was not. No, probably shouldn't be.
Somebody asked about Braxton Miller. He was 89th. Very good quarterback when he was at Ohio State.
Sandwiched in between Damien's boy, Mackenzie Milton.
Oh, man. Well, his whole knee needs to be reconstructed.
And I believe the career leader in passing, Bailey Zappi.
Yep.
Or he has a career something in FA. I can't remember what it is, passing or touchdown. He has a career something.
Yeah, somebody asked about Pat White, West Virginia quarterback. He was number 32.
Yeah, deservedly on there.
Somebody said the quarterback list is garbage if 2 was 23rd. Jason takes in and says Johnny Football should be ranked higher. Say what you will. No, I'm with you, man. Like I'm with you. I don't care, what he did off the field. When he was on the football field,
Absolutely.
Johnny Manziel was that dude.
And to be fair, I feel like a lot of this because what Bill Connolly does, he does that like their FPI and whatever, a lot of numbers. I feel like a lot of this was strictly on the field and just looking at numbers, not necessarily emotionally what they did for the program.
Yeah. Somebody put their own top 5. They got A.J. McCarron 1, Tim Tebow 2, Cam Newton 3, Lamar Jackson 4, and Vince Young 5.
So how Tebow above A.J.?
I'm telling you. We'll be back Monday.
He's a fullback.
Mac and Cube is next.